Let's talk about perfectionism versus analysis paralysis. Every now and then, I encounter an agent that is so hung up on one thing that they don't do anything at all. So that's obviously a problem. So what do, right? I mean, talking about the problem is one thing, but when you talk about a problem, you need to have a solution. So what is the solution? And there are a lot of solutions. The biggest problem is people don't look for the solution. They focus on the problem, okay? So when you have problems come up, how do you respond? Let's talk about perfectionism versus analysis paralysis. This is probably by far one of the biggest issues I'm currently encountering with agents as they are going through the first initial steps to get started, right? Get started in business, get started with farming, get started sending a postcard. It doesn't matter. Every now and then, I encounter an agent that is so hung up on one thing that they don't do anything at all, right? Now, the problem obviously is if you don't do anything at all, time doesn't stop. So if you are not willing to, at least say, let's do one step at a time, you're stuck. And when you're stuck, nothing happens, right? You are not building momentum. You are not getting your name out there. You are not connecting with people. You are not connecting with your sphere. You're not building your business. You're doing nothing. Essentially, what will happen is exactly that. Nothing. So that's obviously a problem. So what do, right? I mean, talking about the problem is one thing, but when you talk about a problem, you need to have a solution. So what is the solution? And there are a lot of solutions. The biggest problem is people don't look for the solution. They focus on the problem, okay? So when you have problems come up, how do you respond? Are you focused on the problem or are you focusing on finding a way through it? Because if your focus is not through it, guess what? That's a problem. Okay, so how do you focus on a solution? There's always more than one way. First and foremost, there is always more than one way. If you're in real estate, you know that there's more than one way to put a deal together, right? If you are in the tech world where you're like, okay, behind the scenes, CMAs, CRMs, emails, all the things we deal with as agents, there's more than one way. Regardless of what your problem is, it's your job to be resourceful and to solve that problem with a solution. So perfectionism, let's start there. It needs to be perfect. Why does it need to be perfect? Is it for the prospect it needs to be perfect? Is it for you that it needs to be perfect? Why does it need to be perfect? I like things perfect too. I really do. I like straight lines. I want everything to be perfect. And guess what? I've sent postcards before with a typo. I have sent postcards before where I forgot my phone number. I have sent postcards before where I forgot to add my email. I've sent postcards before where I forgot to put a logo on. I'm not saying this is right and this is great. What I'm telling you is it's room for improvement, right? If you're going out there thinking you're going to be perfect, that's a problem I think we need to address first and foremost. You shouldn't want to be perfect, okay? Perfection is not something you should look for. You should look for learning lessons. Where can I learn? Because when you make mistakes, you learn. That's right. Learning is good, right? So letting go of perfectionism a little bit, right? Kind of important. Hit send on that mailer. Take the imperfect action, even if it's just a test mailer to yourself, right? Just give yourself an opportunity to try it out. If you are video right now, okay? Do I have perfect teeth? No. Do I have perfect makeup? No. Do I have perfect hair? No. However, I hit record because I think somebody needs to hear this today. Let's see, what else do we have? Analysis paralysis. That's a good one too, right? So the other devil, analysis paralysis. How do we get through analysis paralysis? You have to force yourself, okay? How do you get out of bed in the morning? You force yourself, or your children force you to get up because they have obligations, right? But at the end of the day, you force yourself to do something. Take one step, right? I hate cleaning my house. I force myself to get started. One room, one surface, does make a difference, right? You have to force yourself. If you sit there and you're like, well, I have analysis paralysis, I guess, and then you do nothing, that's a problem. And what do we do with problems? We look for solutions. What is that one thing, right? There's a really good book recommendation for you. The One Thing by Gary Keller. What's that one thing? And I'm not asking you to build Rome, okay? We're not building Rome in a day. I'm asking you to find this one thing. One thing. One. What's your one thing today? What's your micro step? What is your mini accomplishment that would make you feel just a little better? Because if you have a mini accomplishment today, and a mini accomplishment tomorrow, and a mini accomplishment the day after, you just stacked on 7 accomplishments in a matter of a week. You stacked on 365 accomplishments in a matter of a year, right? So what is it that you can do? Because don't tell me you're stuck in analysis paralysis or you can't do something, because the problem is the lack of actions, okay? So find an action task, get it done today, and move through the next phase, because you will encounter more problems and you will need to find more solutions, and based on that, you then start to grow. You're not going to start to grow trying to figure out everything and make it perfect. So today's message, I hope this helps somebody for you out there that's a perfectionist. I am too. I hope that helps somebody that is, stuck in analysis paralysis or procrastination for that matter. Again, I do that too. The biggest part is for you to decide what are you going to do about it, and not hope for some miracle to come out the sky and make it all go away, because that won't be happening. So let's get some stuff done today. Put one thing on your list and just sit down and